Hey guys, I'm making a video on the Black Ops 3 situation. I really didn't want to. I wanted my community post to be the last thing, but Lex made another video, and of course, people are just going in this back and forth cycle because somehow people have been convinced that what I'm saying is an opinion. I think people are misunderstanding the difference between an opinion and factual information, and I think we should probably clear that up. So I'm going to show you evidence of every single thing that I've said and explain to you how the patch works and why it doesn't need to be updated anymore. And I can also explain to you how every single thing that Lex has said is completely false, and how everything that Mr. Gun of Truth has said is also completely false. So let's go ahead and get into that. Okay, guys, this is why the patch does not need to be updated. So, yes, we're taking out MS Paint for this because I don't feel like doing anything more sophisticated. So, when attackers want to hack you, they need to send you data, okay? This is them sending you data. They have to send you that data to be able to exploit your machine, okay? I feel like that's pretty easy to understand, right? If the attacker sends you data, they're able to exploit your machine, right? Well, what the patch does is the patch gives you this network password, okay? When this password is enabled, anybody who does not know your network password sends data, but that data is ignored by your machine. It doesn't even get processed. If they don't know your password, they cannot send you data, okay? And in fact, if they don't know your password, you can't send them data because your data is more or less, it's not encrypted, but let's just say that your data is unreadable to them when the password is set, okay? So neither of you can talk to each other when that password is set. The only way to bypass the patch is if you take off that password because now they can send you data again. And now anything that hasn't been patched previously can get through. Okay? So as long as you have the network password, the patch never needs to be updated again. And he says in his video, I'm pretty sure that the patch says that it checks for updates and you have to. So why do you have to update it if you say you don't have to update it? I'll tell you why. Because of quality of life. Because people ask me for new features that didn't exist before. They ask me for things like FPS improvement fixes. They ask me for things like campaign support. They ask me for bug fixes. These are not things that enable attackers to attack you. These are just things that uh, are annoying that people just want fixed, which is fine. I think I said he. I think I used the pronoun there. I meant Mr. T Lexify specifically. I'm sorry. I've made multiple recordings of this. It's very difficult to be concise here. But Lexus just said that basically this doesn't make sense and that it's impossible to do this or whatever when he doesn't know what he's talking about. And I'm telling you right now, it is completely possible. He has been tricked several times, and people have sent him all sorts of fake stuff, and he just believes it. And one perfect example, you guys remember when he said that the servers were hacked and that the patch wasn't protecting you anymore because somebody sent him a photoshopped image. Yeah, that image was photoshopped, by the way. We had the before and after. I know the person who sent it to him because I keep tabs on the community and know a lot of people there who are the people exploiting this stuff. And they will send him videos and things like that to get attention because they know he's gullible and will just believe anything that they send him. They literally told me that's why they did it. And it worked. He says that he's gotten videos of people bypassing the patch. They're fake. They turn off the network password and then they exploit their own machine. What part of that is bypassing the patch? Like I just and the better proof is just that everybody who follows instructions and uses the network password never has any issues. And the people who don't follow instructions seem to always have issues. So it's just interesting. It's just interesting. I will say that there is one caveat here that you need to be very careful about. When you log into the game, Demonware, which is like the Call of Duty servers, right? Demonware will make you a session, okay? And this session will have things like your IP address, it will have your XUID, it will have things like your security token, which is for your session, and a bunch of other shit. This happens whenever you connect online. Anybody can query this information because they're not interacting with you. Because remember, the patch stops them from sending things to you, but they're not sending it to you. They're asking Demonware for your information. So whenever you log online, your IP address is automatically sent to Demonware, and anybody can ask for that information. Okay, that's why you need to use a VPN if you care about that. If you're worried about people getting your IP address, you need to use a VPN. That's the only way to stop that. There's no way the patch can do anything about that. But again, that's not really a big problem because knowing your IP address doesn't mean anything, right? Um, okay, so we have that all under control. Everybody understands that the patch is permanently safe and that there is an IP leak issue with Demonware that you need to be aware of, and that's the only way that you're going to get hit offline, even with the password. Okay. Now, very quickly, I also want to talk about antivirus and how it works. So people think that the antivirus flagging Black Ops 3 means that Black Ops 3 is malware or that the servers have been compromised or whatever. First of all, let me be very clear, guys. Even if the servers were compromised, they can't run code on your computer. The servers being compromised does not mean anything. They can't just tell your computer to run code because they're a server. That doesn't make sense. That's not how it works. So even if the servers did get compromised, it wouldn't matter. All it would do is allow people to cheat easier. They would be able to go host lobbies and fly around and stuff, which does happen, right? There are a couple servers, or there are several game servers which are different from the authentication servers, which people think have been hacked now. The game servers have been hacked. The game servers are controlled by people in the community, and people have backdoors to that. But that doesn't mean that they can run code on your computer. All it means is that they can use aimbot and fly around and stuff. That's all that means. It's not a big deal. Um, Even if the authentication servers got hacked, all that would mean is that people can like mess with your stats and stuff, or not allow you to log into the game, or like do stupid stuff like that. Like that's annoying. It's very annoying, yes, but is it a reason to be scared? No, it doesn't matter at all. Okay. Um, Antivirus is picking up this game because it's contacting a Chinese IP address. But guys, your game contacts IP addresses for all sorts of reasons. It has nothing to do with malware. When your game wants to know whether you can connect to somebody in the lobby, it pings them. It sends data to them and asks them, basically, it tries to figure out the connection speed. When that happens, you're going to contact some random IP address, right? When you try to join somebody, same thing. When your game asks for the list of servers in your server browser, you know, the server browser on PC that like you can join people and like play mods with them and stuff. Yeah, that just asks everybody who's hosting a game server or like a open lobby. It says, "Hey, what's your IP address? What are you playing? Whatever," right? So wouldn't it make sense to get the ping for that for the game to have to just send data to that IP address? So if somebody was hosting a game server in China, your game would ask them for the ping and send data to it, and your antivirus would freak out, right? It's not about malware, guys. Your game contacts IP addresses for all sorts of reasons. And in a second, I'm going to show you all of the game servers because I have code to do that. I'm going to show you the game servers and how they're not in China. And I'm going to show you the authentication servers and how they're not in China. It 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 is crazy to me that people can just say whatever they want and just present it as fact. But antivirus is flagging this because antivirus is programmed to flag things that act suspiciously. And something suspicious is when, for example, a American connection or an UK connection or whatever is making connection to something like China where it very rarely happens, right? And what can happen is somebody goes and buys a cheap Chinese VPS and hosts malware on it, and malware bytes or Avast or whatever flags that IP address as being associated with malware, and they do that so that they can figure out new like infected machines. So they can figure out like, okay, well you're contacting a server that was associated with malware, so you're probably infected with a virus. So what happens when that same Chinese VPS is then released from the person who put malware on it and is cleared and is completely safe now, And now somebody else in China is like, hey, I want to host a VPS for Call of Duty Black Ops 3. And they go host a VPS for Black Ops 3 and it's completely safe and they're not doing anything wrong, but they get assigned the same IP address. Well, now Avast is going to flag anyone who contacts that, and everyone basically is getting these antivirus, notifications and stuff. It's just, and again, that's not necessarily what's happening, but I'm showing you guys how it's very easy to come up with a hypothetical as to why this has nothing to do with what Gun of Truth has made up. Um, but unlike Gun of Truth, I actually have the knowledge to reverse the game and can show you that the servers have not moved and nothing has changed in the executable in months. So let's just go ahead and get that out of the way. Okay, guys, so what you're looking at right now is my development tool for Black Ops 3. I've been working on this for a very long time. I have all sorts of stuff set up for this, and this is just something that I use to test stuff on Black Ops 3. Because, like I said, I have like 3,000 hours working on this game, and it's, you know, you need tools as a developer, right? This is how I also like debug stuff with a patch and like actually test to make sure that the exploits that people are using are fixed, right? Because, I have the ability as well to like send the exploits and work on all that stuff, whatever. So I also have the ability to just go ahead and, ask for all of the sessions with Demonware. These are all dedicated servers, by the way. These are no player IPs, so don't worry. They're not, we're not leaking anybody's information. But they can do this with your session, by the way. You know how I've always said that they're able to do this? Well, here's the example of me actually doing that. Um, I don't know why people don't listen to me, but here's the evidence that other people don't seem to have. Yeah, so we're just gonna take this IP address here, and this is the same one actually we grabbed before, so let's grab a different one. I tried to record this a second ago, but I didn't have this window open. So we're just gonna go ahead and put this in here and figure out what this IP address and oh look, it's in Atlanta, Georgia, and it's hosted by Vulture. It's almost like yeah, it's almost like it's not a Chinese IP address. Let's try another one. Let's try another one. Let's try this one right here. Let's see where's this one at? Because that 94 is different. Oh, it's in Italy. Huh. Interesting. Interesting. Let's see. Where's this one from? Let's see, where's this one from? Huh, it's in Argentina. Huh. It's almost like the servers are not in China. It's almost like the servers are not in China. So, guys, in the future, when you get information from people like this Gun of Truth guy, maybe validate it first because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And to address Lex's comments about why didn't I tell you guys that the RCEs exist in the game as they do, I'm gonna tell you why I didn't tell you about it. Because when I told you that I found a new RCE, but nobody's using it, someone like Lex is gonna go, "Oh guys, there's new RCEs in the game. It's not safe. Don't play anymore." That's why. Because instead of the part where I say nobody else knows about it, he's just gonna cut that part out and tell you, "Oh, there's RCEs. Don't play the game." And the reason I told you now is because I wanted you guys to know that, yeah, I know about a lot of stuff I haven't talked about, and the patch is still safe, regardless. Even through all of these different things, that people in this community are not going to find these exploits for years, and the patch is still going to be ahead of the game because I was reversing this game for so long. I just wanted you guys to know I know about these things. The patch is still safe regardless. That's why. Okay, so I also want to address the like workshop mods and maps having like the ability to load DLLs. That's been known forever, right? Everybody, I guess everybody just forgot about it, but this has been known through the community for a very long time. And in fact, a bunch of things that you guys play use DLLs. Ultimate Experience mod uses a DLL. All Around Enhancement uses a DLL. I don't remember about All Around Enhancement, but I'm pretty sure it does. Um, let's see what else uses a DLL. Mori Rebirth uses a DLL. Several workshop maps that I've had to support for ZBR use DLL. ZBR uses a DLL obviously because it loads the patch, right? This is something that should be very obvious. Actually, in fact, if I was telling you that ZBR is literally the patch and the patch is a DLL, anyway, uh, this is not new. If you want to not worry about that, play the boy client because it doesn't allow any DLLs or anything. That's why ZBR isn't supported. Um, and that's about as far as that goes. I don't want the patch to protect against that because bluntly, um, it's just the way the workshop works, and I don't want people to complain saying, "Why can't I play Ultimate Experience Mod with a patch? Why can't I play blah 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 with a patch?" It's like I don't want to deal with that. It's not my problem. So just don't play maps or mods that you don't trust the creator of, okay? Okay, guys. So it's the end of the video, and I kind of want to go on a little bit of a rant here because there's a lot of things that I want to talk about to the community that I really don't want to make another post about. So first, I'm going to talk about why I left. Then I'm going to talk about Mr. T Lexify's video and him specifically, and the YouTubers that are similar to him and what they do and the problem that they have. And then I'm going to talk about the community overall and how this stuff can be addressed and fixed. Firstly, for the reason that I left, it is, as I said before, personal reasons. There is no hidden meaning behind this, okay? Please stop trying to extrapolate and create your own logic and reasons for this. You're lying to people. I did not leave because of Call of Duty. I did not leave because of Activision or the community or anything like that. I did not get a cease and desist. I didn't leave because I don't want to work on the patch anymore. It has nothing to do with that, okay? Please stop making up your own reasons. Take it at face value as what I said, and that's that. Okay, now I'm going to talk about Lex and the other video creators. So you guys need to understand the difference between a primary source and a secondary source. And you guys need to understand that secondary sources can often be misleading. First of all, a primary source is going to be the source of the information where this stuff is coming from, right? I am a primary source of information. I am somebody who has reversed this game for thousands of hours and is telling you exactly what the game code is doing. I am giving you examples from the game, analysis of the game and how it operates. I'm not giving you my opinion. This is a fact. The fact is the servers are not in China. The fact is that the game servers being compromised, even if they were compromised, does not affect you. Okay? These are factual things, right? What Lex is telling you is his opinion on what I have said. He is a secondary source. And furthermore, he is not a reliable secondary source because he does not tell you what I said, he tells you what he thought I said. When you go read the community posts and you read the paragraphs, like you can watch his videos and there will be a paragraph on his screen that is saying one thing and he will say something completely different as an analysis. So if you're one of the people who's not actively watching the video and validating the source and making sure he's actually saying what the source said, you're going to be misled. And he does that all the time. He's very careless with the way he presents information, and that's why he has to keep going back and making correction videos every you go look at his channel, find me one time he said that the game is hacked, that he hasn't had to say it was saved like 2 days later or a week later. It's because he's not taking the time to validate the information. That's why he's been tricked so many times. It's just a problem that exists in the community, and there's other content creators that are doing the exact same thing. One exception to this that I will say that I was very happy with, Mr. Dog JD made a great video. It'll be in the description. He basically just summarized what I said and kind of put it into a very concise video and kind of just reported on the news, basically, instead of trying to reframe it the way Lex does and give his opinions on it. Dalek just basically said what is going on, and his video is very accurate and useful. So I would probably recommend watching that video. I will also say that there are some other creators in the community who have made videos. I don't want to be disrespectful to them because they have been nothing but respectful to me, so I will not name them, but I will say that there is a lot of misinformation, and even people who are quote unquote cybersecurity people have made videos and they were not accurate at all. And all of this is because there was somebody named Gun of Truth who was masquerading as a primary source of information and a little information about Gun of Truth. He pays commission. Basically, he will take other modders in the community who know what they're doing and he will pay them to make things for him, and then he assembles them into his mod. His paint ops mod, like probably 80% of that, I would say. And that's not a real number, right? Obviously, I'm telling you this. It's just I'm being facetious here, but he commissions people who actually know what they're doing to make his mod for him effectively, and he does not do any of the technically complex stuff. He was going to pay me to make a patch for his community server so that it would interact with the actual patch so that he could have people use his dedicated servers, which the dedicated servers for the community are RCE vulnerable, so you wouldn't want to do that unless you had a patch. So he was going to pay me to do that. He paid my friend to do Lua for him for his mod. He paid people to go and fix problems with his code, like add asset limit extensions and do all sorts of stuff in the engine that he doesn't know how to do. Anybody who actually knows what they're doing in the COD scene would be able to do that stuff themselves, but he had to pay people to do it for him. That is the guy who is giving you guys his opinion on what's going on. And that's the guy who's arguing about the state of the game and giving you this like Twitter crap, right? So I just want y'all to be aware of that. And I want you to also be aware that the way that the information is presented should be very obvious. Gun of Truth told you that there was an IP address that was flagged and then subsequently said that the servers are compromised. I'm sorry, but anybody who says that doesn't know what they're talking about. Antivirus flags IP addresses because they're trying to stop people from getting infected with malware. And maybe there was an infected or there was a type of malware that was using that IP address at one point as a command and control center or something like that, right? That happens all the time. That does not mean that Black Ops 3.exe is compromised. It doesn't mean that at all. And he just came up with that conclusion because he doesn't know what he's talking about, okay? So just be aware of that. And I know it's really hard to find accurate sources of information in the community, and I'm not helping by leaving, but you guys have to be able to parse this information and understand when people are giving you their opinion and when they're giving you a fact, and furthermore, be able to validate sources. That's the only way that the community is going to fix this problem, and I wish you guys the best with that problem.